Islam. It is August the 20th, 2018. Islam, Dwayne Bey. How are you? I'm well. I just got it not too long ago. Today was an okay day. Today is Monday. So today I was thinking about certain things um, that it has transpired in these 2 years I've been here, and how this is connected to Mother Earth. Dwayne, you see, Bay, it's so easy to personalize my situation. But I see this situation, or what I've experienced, is large. And it's not just me. And it's just what I experience and how I react to it does not just affect me. It affects those that are around me and the earth, Mother Earth.
What are you saying?
So, what I'm going to do is try to give you
Can you hand me the hot sauce?
a list of, or not a list, but give you examples of some of the things I experienced in reference to these past years, and how my thoughts right now are flowing towards Mother Earth and healing Mother Earth and the universe, and how causing harm, whether it's through my thoughts, words, or deeds, affect not just me and those around me that are immediately around me, but Mother Earth and the universe.
I hope you don't think this is funny.
So one of the things I was thinking about, for instance, I'm going to start off with last night. I was listening to the conference call last night, Sunday night conference call at Moorish American National Republic. I'm Rhonda Arrington-Bey. And as I was listening to the conference call, Moorish American National Republic, this is my son Abbas Malik Bey. He left to go to New York when he was at the age of 14, and he just came back to live with me a week ago. So at the age of 14, this was, I think, year 2014. He went to go live in New York.
2013. 2013.
Yes, he's right. It was 2013. I said 2014. 2013, and he came back just a week ago. That's Abbas Malik Bey. And Imani Gray Bey is over here on the side. Okay.
Mike, you back there.
So we let me just also back up. So understanding that we are among different spirits. Okay? We are among different spirits. We have many forms of spirituality, or spirituality. The earth has a spirit. The trees have a spirit. The grass have a spirit. Fire has a spirit. Water has a spirit. I am a spirit. My son Abbas Malik Bey is a spirit. My son Abbas Imani Gray Bey is a spirit. Islam. So hold on one second. So in the Holy Bible was made public law in this country. And the Holy Bible was made public law in this country. 1982 October the 4th, and it requested that 1983 be the start of the year of the Bible. 1983 be the year of the Bible. But the Holy Bible, according to what I was reading, but the Holy Bible was made public law. And in that, as I read Matthew, Jesus spoke of casting out spirits, unclean spirits and devils in Matthew 4, chapter 4, verse 24. Matthew chapter 8, verse 16 and 17. Matthew chapter 8, verse 28. Mark chapter 1, verse 23. Matthew 9, verse 32. Matthew chapter 12, verse 22. Matthew 10, chapter 10, verse 1. And Matthew chapter 10, verse 8. Mark 1, verse 34. Okay. So I was saying, excuse me, because I think previously, I think I said Abbas left 2014. But he's right, because Imani and I took the classes at Moorish American National Republic January of 2014. And then we came and left to go live in New York January 2015. So anyway, realizing that everything has a spiritual background first, whether it's a disease, in reference to unclean spirits, so the earth in itself, I see what I am experiencing, or what many souls experiencing. This is definitely spiritual first, spirit. So I'm going to go back to the conference call last night. Last night, as I was listening to the conference call, Dwayne Bey, because I just want to remind you, I did a video, and I said, Dwayne, I said, Bey, I said, I married you in the sacred grove. Okay? And let me back up. And once again, during this time, these years, I didn't know the different spirits we were among. I had no idea. I didn't know before I sent Abbas to New York. I had no idea. If I would have known, I would not have sent Abbas Malik Bey to New York by himself. I would not have. Okay. So so last night I was listening to Moorish American National Republic. Okay. And I'm giving testimony according to Revelations chapter 12, verse 10 and 11. And I think his name is Grandmaya Eel. As soon as I called in, he was on the phone. Okay, and he was speaking about a union. Imani, do you have a dollar bill? No, you have ones. And I just want to see it for one moment, the back of it, real quick.
I use it to fix my 3DS at the dollar store.
Really? You don't have any $1 bills on you at all?
I got change.
Okay. So anyway, Grandma Il was speaking about the union. He spoke about the union, and then he was talking about the back of the dollar bill. Okay? And he was saying the union is older than the Constitution of America. So one of the things, Dwayne Bey, I have spoke of in the past is I know that there is, I don't know all aspects of the union that Grandma Il was speaking of in reference to science, but he spoke of the European, the all-seeing eye, the pyramid, but also, and it's interesting because as he was speaking about the union, all of a sudden I felt a sharp pain in my head. Okay, I started to feel sharp pains in my head, and he was also spoke of a process that needs to be done. Okay. Now, some of the thoughts that went through my mind as I was listening to Grandma Il speak on the conference call was that there are two unions. The union that he was speaking of on the physical plane was in reference to the dollar bill and Moors. I think he said it was older than the Constitution. Okay. And I thought about the Iroquois Confederation. Okay. But then I also know that some Moors encourage union with unclean spirits. All right. They use a form of a necessary evil, or they suggest and justify a necessary evil to have allies with unclean spirits. These spirits that are unclean are those that possess the mind, cause harm to the genitals, spiritually. This is spirit, because everything is spirit first. Abbas was 14 when he left to go to New York. All right, 14 years old. He's 19 now. These unclean spirits send sharp pains. Okay, they don't have to be just unclean. There are some Moors that have their status. They could be sheikesses. They dealing with their lower self. They too are able to send sharp pains to the joints. They do not believe. Imani, can you get the plant just in case? They do not believe in or encourage freedom, or Moors such as myself, Moorish Americans, awakening Moors, returning back to their true self. In fact, they encourage bondage, Dwayne Bey. You know this. Bondage. So how does this affect Mother Earth and the universe? So it helps bring the vibrations down, right? It helps bring the vibrations down or keep them low. Because you cannot serve two gods, right? You can only serve one God. As Muslims, I have been taught, we are taught to serve one God, Allah. So who is this Allah that some Moors claim to serve, but yet encourage a union with unclean spirits, or encourage or use unclean spirits to cause harm? So as I was listening to the Moorish American National Republic conference call, Grandma Ill spoke of a union and a dollar bill, and these are some of the thoughts that went in my head. And now all of a sudden he was talking about a process that needs to be done, and I felt a sharp pain within in my head. It's not the first time I have listened to the conference call and like a word is emphasized by one of the sheiks or sheikesses, and I might feel a sharp pain somewhere in my joints, especially when the sheiks maybe speak. Then I also heard him say, because this is before the sharp pain occurred. I remember hearing him say, because I was lying on the bed. I had a long day yesterday. I cooked dinner for Imani Bey and Abbas Malik Bey. I'm trying to introduce Abbas to vegan vegetarian diet slowly. Imani and I are still transitioning. We're not on this diet completely. We are still transitioning, as Dwayne Bey. And I remember how we felt when we started to transition. I exercised, I read, I studied. So I felt really good. I took a shower, washed my locks. I really felt good, Dwayne Bey. So I was laying on my bed as a Moabite, a woman. My son, Abbas Bey, have come to live with me, and I haven't seen him. He haven't lived with me since he was 14 years old. He's 19 now. Okay. And I remember him saying, it sounded like he said, "No peace." This is Grandma Ill, National Grand Sheik. Or Grand Sheik, National Grand Sheik. He said, "No peace, no peace." This is before I felt a sharp pain. As he kept speaking about, I think, if I remember correctly, a union and how old this union is. Now also I'm going to speak about how my son Abbas Malik Bey, when he first came, he did the Moorish American prayer with me. But then last night, he was about to do the Moorish American prayer with me and Imani. We were listening on a conference call, and I heard Arrington-Bey, he made a comment, and I don't know what comment he made, but he was possibly talking to somebody. But as soon as he made this comment, it was sort of a distasteful energy in his comment. Abbas just reluctantly turned around, and his whole energy changed. He seemed to have hope that he was going to do the Moorish American prayer, but then he reluctantly turned around and went in the bathroom. Okay. Once again, we are among spirits. Spirits that I see that Dwayne Bey, that their goal, unclean spirits, their goal is to possess the mind, possess the spirit, to gain access to the souls, to the different departments of a soul's mind. So that soul is actually behaving and demonstrating to be something less than his or her divine ancestors. Behaving like that which we are among, which are created by something else. Okay, so now so Abbas didn't come back to do the prayer. He stayed in the bathroom. Now I'm going to continue with what I'm trying to get to, and the question is, or the thought is, how does my situation, personal situation, affect Mother Earth and the universe? And how is this? Because some is connected in different or not affect, but connected to the lowering the vibrations of Mother Earth and the universe. Okay, and in that, how is there a such thing as a necessary evil? Is there a such thing or a energy for a necessary evil? To sacrifice a soul. So my thoughts today, as I was working Dwayne Bey, I was thinking about the naturalization ceremony that I attend when I was here, the 2017 naturalization ceremony. And I'm going to connect the dots with purity. All right, because key 93 in our Moorish 101s, it asks, will you describe white? White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. When I attended the 2017 nationalization ceremony, the first time I attended the naturalization ceremony, I attended 2016 here in Baltimore. And I attended again on 2017. Now, we couldn't attend when we were in New York. We were naturalized over the phone with National Grand Sheik Joe Arrington-Bey in 2015, but we could not attend. So when I came to Maryland, the first thing I couldn't wait to do was attend the naturalization ceremony in 2016. I felt an energy there, that naturalization ceremony, but I didn't know, I still didn't understand what I was among, and all the different aspects and thoughts and agendas that were taking place. I had no idea. So 2017, I attended a naturalization ceremony with Moorish American National Republic. And so I remember thinking, I am so happy. This is my second time with my son, Imani Gray-Bey, attending a naturalization ceremony. But I started to see different things spiritually that I was experiencing there. I was emailing you, Dwayne Byfield Bey. I remember that. And I remember when I walked in, I remember seeing it was on a bay, so I saw a lake out on the left hand side where we were sitting. And I could tell that there was tension in the air. But my thoughts were pure. I was just so happy to be there. I wasn't thinking about what I was around. I was, even when I would attend the Temple 13, just happy to be there. You know, I happy to be among like minds that are trying to study different aspects of the law, or listen to different aspects of the law being taught to us. And that's just not constitutional law, but the laws that we are under as divine natural beings navigating upon this earth. But I do remember feeling spiritually attacked while I was there. And I was being spiritually attacked in many different ways. And I didn't understand why. I remember the energy was out there that possibly the woman that was living with you had left your house. That y'all had a disagreement and left your house. I don't know if it was true, but that's what, that was the energy telepathically that was in the universe. That you and her was arguing and she had left your house. I remember when I walked into the building, I was hearing reggae music as I walked in the building at the naturalization ceremony. And I could see that some of the women were not upset, but it seemed like there was something going on. I felt some sharp pains coming from different directions. I don't know where, but it wasn't like before. Before in 2017, actually my genitals were attacked. Like someone had locked down on my genitals. And it had a female energy. Like someone was so upset, and they had actually locked down or used an unclean spirit to attack my genitals while I was attending the 2017 naturalization ceremony. And at the time, you and I, Dwayne Byfield Bey, was communicating. So, excuse me, that was 2016. 2016, my genitals. 2017, I didn't really feel that pressure. But definitely, there was an attempt to devalue me. I was emailing you, and plus using your picture on Twitter, following you regularly, Dwayne Byfield Bey. But definitely there was an attempt to devalue my status being with you. And the energy was that something you and the woman that you have in your house weren't together, or y'all had an argument or something at that time. I remember, once again, even though I felt that energy, my thoughts, my mind, state of mind, I was in pure thought and just very thankful to Allah that we made it there and we were able to attend this form of naturalization. I felt like I was giving honor to my ancestors. So even though I could feel and I saw, but my mind was at a pure thought and giving honor to my ancestors. And I'm going to tell you why I keep saying pure, because Dwayne Byfield Bey, this is one of the times that I saw the magic in purity. Can you define white? White means white. Imani, can you define white? Just lost my train of thought. Hold on one second. All right. I just said it, but you know, I have a lot of thoughts, Dwayne Byfield Bay. A lot of thoughts going through my mind right now because I feel I am changing. I am changing and I am seeing things. And what I am feeling is the need to not cause harm any means necessary through my thoughts, words, and deeds as much as possible. So, will you define white? White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. So, this is why I'm gonna explain to you why I'm using the word pure, because I actually felt the magic of purity in the 2017 naturalization ceremony. So I remember I was going to get something to eat with and where I was in line, and there was this black male just walking next to me, close to me, and then then there was I think people from the NOI there, men from the NOI there, and I was standing a little bit from them, and they started talking loud, like I would hear some of the black Negroes around me talking loud with their legs spread apart. You know, they spread their legs apart and start saying things, talking about they'll start speaking different words that or different things like they know me, like I've heard before. Speak of for instance, say I ate a green salad yesterday. So they'll start speaking about a green salad, and speak of my situation, or a situation, not my situation, a situation that is similar to my situation. So I noticed as I was standing in line, I saw a group of black males that looked to be representing let me say, not, I don't know if they were definitely the Nation of Islam, but that's what they seemed to be, or what I thought was introduced to as part of the Nation of Islam. They, some of them spread their legs apart and start talking. Then I saw, as I was standing in line, then another black male was so close to me, behind me, like so disrespectful. It was like I'm in line and he's standing close, really close behind me. I moved. I said, "Excuse me," because I was using alchemy. So as I was starting to see, because we were getting something to eat, I was getting something to eat, and I'm a woman, and I'm there with my son, Imani Arrington-Bey, who at the time was 23 years old. So I'm trying to keep my vibrations up. Now, Moors are there, Moabites, they're there. Okay? This is a very full ceremony, and I am connected to you still. So I felt a need, like there was a need to, or like there was a direct attempt to try to devalue me, my status, devalue my status as a woman, like I'm nothing. Because remember, Dwayne Byfield Bay, on my Twitter site, I say I am your wife. And in the emails, I kept saying I'm your wife. So it was definitely an energy out there, as though, well, we're going to show that she's not his wife. We're going to make sure we show that this woman is not his wife. And once again, there was an energy out there that you and the woman that they call from Australia that you have in your house were in arguments. So I moved away from the guy, and I just kept my vibrations up, and I kept my virtue. I wasn't irritated. I was vibrating high because I was so happy to be giving honor to my ancestors. Then I noticed, I sat down, and these two women came and sat down around me, and some other Moors three more sat down, and they brought up Dr. Arrington-Bey. One of them was speaking about Dr. Arrington-Bey and how he healed her. And I was just listening, you know, because at the time I was communicating with Arrington-Bey through text and Bey. Dr. Arrington-Bey and Bey. So, I was just like listening. I was like, okay, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I was just listening and just being very, very, very humble. Not purposely being humble, but that was my spirit of humility. Because I am giving praise to Allah. I am doing something to honor my ancestors. And then I start to see, okay, I'm there humble. I saw the women get irritated. They were getting irritated. There were people watching. I could tell that there were more and more bites watching. And they were, and some seemed to like look at me like, walk away. You know, they wanted me, like, giving me hints to leave and walk away from the table or get up and move from the table. Well, I was like, why? Why would I do such a thing? I've been texting them saying, telling them hi and giving them a brief, I guess you want a picture of my experience, sis. So why would I do such a thing? I didn't see them as a threat. But these two women that was bringing up Dr. Arrington-Bey and Bey, actually it was Dr. Arrington-Bey's name. But Bey is his wife. They started to get really, really irritated. In one moment, I felt a presence, like you were, like sometimes I could tell that you're telepathically attuned to me, Dwayne Bey. So you attuned to me one moment as a male, one of the Moorish males was trying to talk to me. And then all of a sudden, one of the women that were speaking about Dr. Arrington-Bey, really got upset. She got upset. She said, "Really?" Out of the blue. And she got really upset and she got up and she walked off. So I didn't know why. I didn't understand why. But then I remember they had brought up before that they spoke of about getting married. They spoke of crystals and stuff like that. So I didn't really understand why. I truly didn't. This is connected. My personal experience is connected to a larger experience because this is connected to healing Mother Earth and the universe. And it's also not being able to rise above it, I see, Dwayne Bey. It's connected if I'm not being a part of lowering the earth vibrations. So I'm gonna keep demonstrating purity and this moment, why how Allah gave me favor to feel the magic of purity. Once again, key 93 define the word white. White means purity, purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. So I ended up leaving the naturalization ceremony of 2017, and I remember I tried to text Dr. Lima Bey, and my number was blocked. I think I tried to text them either that night or the next day, and they blocked my number. I didn't know why. I had no idea. I had no idea. I remember when I arrived back here at the American Extended Stay. I remember it's like I'm feeling good. I felt like some possibly there were some Moors here at American Extended Stay, and I remember I checked your page, your Twitter page, and it said and you were given honor or had your name up there like Moorish Brooklyn. And some giving honor to Mexicans. Taco Bell. I think it was Taco Bell bringing possibly a vegan menu, giving honor to Mexicans. And it made me so upset because just maybe 7 or 8 months, or not 7, or a few months ago, I was molested while I was sleeping, and I didn't understand who did it. It only lasts maybe 5 to 10 seconds, but still I was molested. And I was sitting that night after that was the night that I was at the time I was still communicating to Dr. Arrington-Bey and Arrington-Bey, sending texts along with other more, Sincere, Selena, Cordova-Il, Dr. Nalani, Valentine, and the National Grand Sheik, Joel Bratton-Bey. So that night I was molested in my sleep. I remember you changed your website, your Twitter site. I remember I woke up in the middle of molestation, and I was praying to Allah. I was like, Allah, and I was asking Allah for protection over me. I didn't know what I had just experienced. And I heard someone in the hallway said, "This is not right," and they walked away. A male said, "This is not right," and they walked away. And I remember I looked on your online, and I saw you had changed your whole website. Instead, you had you had spiritual, mental, and physical health. That's what you had on your website. And I was thinking to myself, what just happened? Then I realized afterwards, when I would go out, I started to hear Spanish-speaking Mexicans, or those that look to be from Middle East, start saying, "He F you, he F you." And so in that 5 to 10 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds of molestation. Now I'm going to add 5 more. 5 more seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was enough for these unclean spirits, all right, to start walking around. They look to be from Mexico or the Middle East, saying, "He F you," to bring, and that could have possibly brought mental instability. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this, with what I'm experiencing. I'm trying to keep myself looking because it's a lot. Imani Gray-Bey is listening, and Abbas Malik Bey is listening. Okay, so what I'm going to get at is when I came back from the naturalization ceremony, and I saw that you were giving honor to Mexicans about a vegan meal, it just brought those old feelings back. Because I would be at work, and they would come in, and or Spanish speaking, not just Mexican, Spanish speaking, saying something about someone effing you. All right, this could have brought mental instability, because this is dealing with spirit. This is dealing with spirit.
God, you got something for you. You can't manipulate God. You cannot manipulate Allah.
So what I'm getting at, Dwayne Byfield Bey, when I saw that on your Twitter after the naturalization ceremony, it triggered a thought of what happened.
Something so little as
so it made me feel like you like that I was being used to demonstrate a form of a union with unclean spirits. I was used, and also to devour my status as your wife. To devalue my status as your wife. Okay? And so, it really made me very, it made me hurt. I mean, I was hurting. I was hurting because I didn't understand why. I said, if something like that had happened, how cold can you be? How deceitful can that be? This is not in a line and a tune to the highest self, Allah. This is everything against Allah. This is not attuned to healing Mother Earth and the universe, uplifting fallen humanity. This is going against. This is definitely demonstrating going against that which is of Allah, attuning. So many times, you know, they kept saying he did it or they did it. It's a deal. We had a deal. These unclean spirits. So now I want to go back to the naturalization ceremony in 2017. Dwayne, I felt like when those two women that started to bring up Dr. Leem El-Bey and Dr. Leem El-Bey, Kadir El-Bey's husband, if I would have showed irritation, even though around me I could tell some of the Moabites were like, through body language, was possibly encouraging me to walk away from the table. Because even I started to hear the women mumble, you should leave, you need to go, move. They started mumble, move, like they were so irritated, especially when I thought I attuned to you. And the lady got upset and said, really? You know? So if I would have shown irritation, not that I had planned not to, or trying to be smart to not show irritation, but I was in the mind frame of purity. So I wasn't thinking about not showing irritation. It just wasn't in me to do so. Because my thoughts weren't there. My state of mind was not there. Because I didn't understand the state of minds I was among, or the agenda, and everything that was being done, things that were being played, or demonstrated, or created. I didn't know. I was just thankful to be giving honor to my ancestors. And through that purity, I was able to rise up that night from that table and feel good. It did make me feel low to go back to the room and try to text them, and they blocked my number. And I saw you giving honor on your website to Mexicans about a vegan on Taco Bell. You know, I was like, because once again, it made me, I still didn't connect the dots. I didn't understand. Because I know, and I'm not saying I understand everything now, but I do know that Moors who are in their proper status will use unclean spirits. They use them to do unclean work. Because some Moors, not all, believe in a necessary evil. And they believe in having a union with these unclean spirits. And they stand by having that union. And this is spiritual. All right? So you got the spiritual and the physical. But Allah, I'm going to say this, Dwayne Byfield Bey, and I'm going to end this video.
Who is he?
Dwayne Byfield Bey. This is connected to healing Mother Earth and the universe. And I'm giving testimony according to Revelations chapter 12, verse 10 and 11. Now, I'm not accusing Grandma ill. All right? I'm not accusing the National Grand Sheik. I'm not accusing you. I'm giving testimony because Allah already knows. You can only serve one God, the highest of Allah. We supposed to, I believe, have faith and fruition as divine souls. My line, that's who we are supposed to be striving to do. That is what we are supposed to be striving to do. This is in my line. We are not supposed to be we are not supposed to cause harm, cause harm any means necessary. I didn't articulate my thoughts as smooth as I usually do, or maybe not smooth at all. But but I did the best I can. So what I'm going to do is read from the Holy Quran, Circle 7. Okay? Excuse me, that was my son, Abbas Elite Bey. On chapter 35. religion. It says, because many times I hear Moors speak of a law. Many Moors put emphasis on especially on the key in our Moorish 101s. It says, what is your religion? It says Islam is the answer. Then they say, is that an old time or is that an old time? No, it said, what kind of religion is it? Let me read what it says exactly. It says, key 16 in our Moorish 101s. It says, how did the Prophet begin to uplift the Moorish Americans? By teaching them to be themselves. I put higher self next to that to remind me to stay connected to my higher self. Then key 17, it says, what is our religion? Islamism. And then key 18, it says, is that a new or is that an old time religion? And the answer is old time religion. I hear a lot of times more speak of a law. They keep focusing on a law. Well, to me in chapter 35, it gives straight up what law we are under. So I'm going to read chapter 35, and this is the law I should say I'm under, and that I give respect to. I know there's many branches of law, just like there's many branches of love connected to purity. But once again, it was purity in that naturalization ceremony that gave me wisdom to not show irritation when those women were speaking about Dr. Arrington-Bey, or when one of them got so upset and said, really? Because I did not understand why, and I was not there in my state of mind. I couldn't conceive any deception because it wasn't in me to conceive that deception. You understand? So I'm demonstrating my line, my ancestral line. My ancestors were with me that day, Islam, and they with me every day. Allah. So I'm going to read what it says. It says, there is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. The sun is not Allah, though his noblest image. He enlightened the world with his brightness. His warmth giveth life to the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise, who hath stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who hath described with his finger the courses of the stars, who set bounds to the ocean that it cannot pass, and say unto the stormy winds, be still, who shake the earth and the nations tremble, who dare his lightnings, and the wicked are dismayed, who call forth worlds by the words of his mouth, who smite with his arm, and they sink into nothing. O reverence the majesty of the omnipotent, and tempt not his anger, lest thou be destroyed. The providence of Allah is ever all in his works, all his works. He ruleth and direct with infinite wisdom. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature conformed to his will. In the depth of his mind he revolved all knowledge. The secrets of futurity lie open before him. The thoughts of thy heart are naked to his view. He knoweth thy determination before thy are made. With respect to his prescience, there is nothing contingent. With respect to his providence, there is nothing accidental. Wonderful he is in all his ways. His counsels are inscrutable. The manner of his knowledge transcend thy conception. Pay therefore to his wisdom all honor and veneration, and bow down thyself in humble and submissive obedience to his supreme discretion. The Father is gracious and beneficent. He hath created the world in mercy and love. His creatures of his hand declare his goodness, and their enjoyment speak of his praise. He clothed them with beauty. He supported them with food. He preserved them with pleasure from generation to generation. If we lift up our eyes to the heaven, his glory shineth forth. If we cast them down on the earth, it is full of his goodness. The hills and the valleys rejoice and sing. Fields, rivers, and woods resound his praise. But thee he hath distinguished with peculiar favor, and exalted thy station above all creatures. He hath endued thee with reason to maintain thy dominion. He hath fitted thee with language to improve thy society, and exalted thy mind with the powers of meditation to contemplate and adore his immutable perfections. And in the laws he hath ordained as the rule of life, so kindly hath he united thy duty to thy nature. The obedience to his precepts is happiness to thyself. O praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving, and meditate in silence of the wonders of his love. Let thy heart overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement, and let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let the actions of thy life show thy love to his law. Allah is just and righteous, and will judge the earth with equity and truth. Hath he established his laws in goodness and mercy, and shall he not punish the transgressors thereof? O, think not, bold men, because the punishment is delayed, that the arm of Allah is weakened. Neither flatter thyself with hopes that he wink at thy doings. His eye pierced the secrets of every heart, and he remembereth them forever. He respect not the persons or the stations of men, the high and the low, the rich and the poor, the wise and the ignorant. When the soul hath shaken off the cumbrous shackles of this mortal life, shall equality receive from the sentence of just and everlasting retribution, according to their works. Then shall the wicked tremble and be afraid, but the heart of the righteous shall rejoice in his judgments. O fear Allah, therefore, all the days of thy life, and walk in the paths which he hath opened before thee. Let prudence admonish thee, let temperance restrain, let justice guide thy hand, and benevolence warm thy heart, and gratitude to heaven inspire thee with devotion. These shall give thee happiness in thy present state, and bring thee to the mansions of eternal felicity in the presence of Allah. This is the true economy of human life, Islam. So, this is an hour video. Dwayne Battlefield Bey. I'm going to leave you with this thought. if you listen to this video all the way through. It's a long video. In reference to the union, if you're causing harm, if it's dealing with justifying causing harm through words, thoughts, and deeds, I know there's a cleansing. I see one reason why my thoughts are saying cleanse is there's a cleansing going on. Cleansing. Because Allah states that there is no need to us to cause harm through thoughts, words, and deeds. There's no need. That is man. That is man who thinks that way, not divine natural beings. Islam. And this is healing when we do not cause harm through thoughts, words, and deeds, the earth and the universe. Islam.